I think Larry's radio was probably just something like Fat Bottom Girls on Repeat 1 over and over.
Probably.
It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to All Request Show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like, but I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to the radio at a high volume. Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is.
Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drumbeat from the radio.
True enough. It is difficult to believe this testimony. Oh, my stick is haunted. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway. What this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks in between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. It's a lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. Tell me about how you're lonely, Larry. So you turned on the radio. Right. I just wanted to hear someone's voice, you know? You don't know what it's like out there alone on Christmas Eve, alone! I shouldn't have said anything. Do you by any chance remember the name of the program you were listening to?
This has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor.
Objection sustained. The witness was listening to the radio. That is all we need to know. Tell us, Mr. Butts. How loud was your radio that night? Listening to it real booming loud? Real booming loud? Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on? Yup. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. But I'm sure I heard the gunshot. Can you prove that? No, of course you can't. Nah, I can't prove it. But I remember the moment real clear. I mean, while I was talking about it, it came back real clear to me, you know? I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too. What did the DJ say, Larry? What did he say?
Mr. Wright.
Shut up!
Please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what the radio DJ said do us?
I don't know, probably important. Indeed, Mr. Von Kamma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should.
Why?
Well, how do you know if we don't ask, Fine, very well. Mr.
Good
Butts,
argument.
please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when he said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard the gunshot. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard, but it's the one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened.
Okay.
Oh, do we gotta press his last stop, man?
Yeah.
Hey, it's almost Christmas. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us at all. This is the most blah blah blah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we gotta
Look for time things.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Something that says it happened after midnight.
All right, let's look at some of this stuff. Yeah. Death was somewhere, so that doesn't help. Taken automatically
At 12:15.
at 12:15. So this got to be it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look at the other stuff. Empty lake. Taken at 11:50. Nope. 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 Nope.
Heard 2 gunshots after midnight. So if he heard another gunshot before midnight, that does contradict.
That's true. So I think it could either be Lada's deposition or the Lada's camera. Not Lada's camera.
The thing that says 12:15
Yeah, the picture.
picture. Yeah, either one probably.
You want to try Lada's deposition again? I think that's more solid.
Yeah, I think so too.
Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with that face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor. Did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas. When he heard the gunshot, indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas.
Gasp.
Contradiction. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. But that contradicts the 2 testimonies we've heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. What? Order, order! What does this mean? The 2 prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight.
Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken.
How come this witness is this witness remembers his name, Von Karma?
Just look at him. Suspicious.
What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butts' claim that he heard the gunshots before midnight?
I mean, Larry is pretty suspicious.
Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard the gunshot before midnight.
Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight.
Okay, that's probably the gun, right?
Yeah. Fired 3 times.
This is my evidence. The murder weapon. Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight.
Gasp.
Order, order. I guess that would make sense out of yesterday's testimonies.
Bah. Bah.
Me?
You waste our time again with your empty statements. Yes, the pistol was fired 3 times. But do you have any proof that it was fired before midnight? Do you have proof that the witness didn't just think he heard something?
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Do you have evidence that proves there was a gunshot before midnight? Do you have evidence that proves Mr. Butts wasn't just... It's this one, right? Because it says
No, there was another one.
Oh, okay.
There was the one of like the empty lake that was taken at 11:50.
Oh, 11:50. Yeah.
That one.
Take that. Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on this photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh yeah? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown on this photograph. It is why the photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha!
I don't get it.
Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why the photograph was taken. In other words, there was a gunshot at the time that Larry claims. Order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake.
Exactly. If this is true, there were two sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why?
Why indeed, Von Karmba. Uh-oh. I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes.
What's wrong, Nick? Why'd you make that sound?
I have it!
Huh?
Remember the case with the steel samurai?
Huh? Yeah, of course I remember.
The only case you've ever seen? The murderer in that case had the same idea as the murderer in this case.
What do you mean?
Maya,
Yes?
if we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm going to run with it.
Get used to this. It's gonna happen a lot.
This is basically the whole game from now on.
Right. I mean, is this safe?
I don't know. Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose.
Except your badge.
Let's save that for a later game. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay?
Right, Nick.
Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case.
What?
What the fuck? What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realize the truth.
Did you know it already?
There can be no other
okay.
murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself.
So no. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Mr. Edgeworth who did the shooting.
Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake.
On the what?
This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on the boat.
Bang.
Blam.
Kabloomers.
Achoo. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be in the other man on the boat.
I admit it's hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting.
That was Judge.
We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo reads 15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could have been innocent.
Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who this is sitting on the boat. Edgeworth and the murderer.
You mean it's not Edgeworth and a dead body? Do you mean there wasn't an elaborate weekend at Bernie's ploy happening here? Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Robert Hammond and met Edgeworth.
What?
That's right. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this.
Ludicrous.
Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know?
Bah. Again, you waste my time.
Oh, so...
Bah.
Thank you. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Oh, where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest the real scene of the crime was not in a boat? What? Well, then where did the murder take place? You're the judge. Obviously it took place way over here.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh,
Clearly.
Place in the boat shop, right?
I think so.
Must have. Here, of course, the boat shop, where he lives. That way, he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing him.
Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime?
How long do I gotta do this? Recall Larry's testimony if you
Forever.
That night, he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. And then his boat merged with another boat, like magic. He finds it and returns to the boat. Then, as he's standing to head home, he hears a gunshot. He heard the gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would he be if he had just returned a boat? I don't know. I'm not good at riddles. Is the answer the boat shop? Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, are you sure about this?
I don't fucking know. Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. Oh my God!
Hello!
Not in front of the parrot!
Tell him what's a murder.
This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then, who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
It was Edgeworth.
It was the boat shop caretaker.
Nah, it was Edgeworth.
Okay. Of course, it was the murderer that shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Ah, details.
Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Hence why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness. Yeah, one to get someone's attention and then another to see it. I
believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and then fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol and boat behind him.
And just hopes that Edgeworth picks it up.
And, holds his breath long enough to swim all the way back to the boathouse. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw the attention of the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back very deftly underwater the entire time to the shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. Then what happened? This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired the night on Gourd Lake.
Written by Phoenix Wright.
He just hit his hammer for no reason. Just sat there thinking about it. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly!
The judge really going along with this?
What's happening?
Oh no!
Am I asleep?
Is this real life?
Very well. While we are here waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said?
Yes.
Well, why did you go to the lake that night?
I don't want to talk about it. What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me.
Something important?
I'm sorry. I can't say what it was.
Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet.
The witness has just appeared. He's not in the boat shop either.
What?
What should I do?
Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Blam, blam, blam. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared.
A search warrant has already been issued.
It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker?
Who is that masked man?
I think his identity has become very important to this trial.
You think?
I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned.
I thought this was the final day of trial.
Meow.
Didn't say day 3.
Yeah, but day 4 is the final day of trial, because day 1 is the first day of investigation. Day 2 is the first day of trial. It makes a lot of sense, is the thing.
Yay, Nick, you did it!
I did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that trial, under that guilty verdict.
And what about Larry? That was something else.
Are you sure?
Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really has helped us out.
Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time.
I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's just like it's us on trial instead of our clients.
Hey, Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably gonna get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I don't know what that word means.
When your lips go up instead of down.
What? I don't think they do that.
All right.
But I fear it's not over for me yet.
Okay, angsty boy. What do you mean?
Right.
Wrong.
There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Just tell me.
Edgeworth?
You can tell me anything. No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but... Is it your shirt?
Come on, buddy.
I can't make up my mind.
You can do it.
Just tell us.
It's okay. What is this about, Edgeworth?
It's a nightmare I've had.
No.
A memory of a crime that I committed.
A crime? You committed?
A memory of a murder.
Oh, I love that John Grisham book.
Gasp.
Oh my flipping gosh.
Edgeworth, if you have nightmares, we can cuddle. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll continue on.